Alright, so why don't we go ahead and get started with this part of the training. And as we spoke about in the last training, we did a fairly long introduction into the whole progression of the Dials program, starting at the prospects, going to the list, being able to go into using the phone and contacting people, setting the appointments, doing the interviews to fill an open position that we have in our business, and then that's going to grow our team and grow our customer base as well. And it's all going to then come back to the prospecting. It's a continual circle. It's a closed circle. It starts at a point and it ends at the same point again. And it's consistency. You really have to be consistent with this program. And what we're going to be talking about tonight, we're going to be talking about something that's very, very important to this program, very, very important to my business growing. From a diamond coach to a 2-star diamond coach, and pretty soon to a 3 and a 4-star diamond coach. It's the focal point of my business, and that is my list. The list is very, very important. L-I-S-T, big capital letters. I usually put it in, and it's important in a lot of ways. I'm going to draw my little book here just like I did in the last training, and I have my names on the list on both pages. I use a notebook to be able to do my list. In fact, I have 2 of them, and it's handwritten out. I'm going to put it up here again. It's handwritten out. It's got numbers next to them. I'm up to 936 names. You'll see that I have names that are actually crossed off. I have names that are highlighted that I had appointments for interviews. I have a number of different things in here. I have numbers, as you can see, I have numbers that have actually been changed or disconnected that I can't talk about. Well, guess what? I cross that name off my list. But this list started out small. When I first got started, this list that I have, this notebook pad, paper notebook pad here, I've got post-it notes all over it. But this notebook pad and this tool right here, you can pick this up at any office supply store. I think you can get a box of 12 of them for probably $2.50, but this is one of my most important tools that I use next to this right here. You can get these, this is a Staples notepad, but you can get this book probably for about $1.50 or $1.25. You can get a package of 3 or 4 of them in multiple colors. I use them all the time. This is my first list, which is full. It's got 640 names in this book. This book is getting full. It's about half full right now, and I have a total of 936. So between the 2 books, I have 936 names. So for $2.50, $5, I have 2 of my most important tools in my business right here, which is my list. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about and why my list is so important is because my list is actually the inventory that I have in my business. It's the inventory of my business. Now, as I said last night, we don't have to carry actual physical inventory. We don't have to carry workout programs, Shakeology. We don't have to stock this stuff. We don't have to deliver it. We don't have to ship it out. But this book that contains the people, the prospects that I've come in contact with, that I have met up with, that I've gotten off of my website, that I've gotten off of other leads that have been given to me, referrals from other people, they go down in my list because my list is the inventory that I have in my business. And if I was running a restaurant and I have to order the food for my restaurant to be able to cover the menu items that I have in my restaurant, I have to carry an inventory for that. If I stop ordering my inventory, if my inventory goes down to zero, I still have customers coming through my door of my restaurant, but I have no food in inventory to be able to cook for them. How long am I going to be in business? People are going to get up and they're going to walk out and go somewhere else that has inventory to be able to cook the food that they want to be able to eat. And I've just lost my business. This list is just like the food that you have to have in inventory in a restaurant. This list is our inventory. If my list goes down to zero and I have nobody on this list to be able to call, to be able to contact, to be able to ask for an appointment to do an interview for an open position I have, or to talk with them about Shakeology, or talk with them about a workout program, or whatever it might be, if this list goes down to zero, I'm going to be out of business in a fairly short period of time. It's a continual process being able to add inventory to my business, to be able to add people to my list. Now, how do we add people to our list? Now, in the last training, I had out here that we have a big pool of prospects. Okay, we have a huge pool of prospects to contact and to talk with. About our products. Oops. So we have a big list of people that we can talk to about our products or business. I'll just put. Okay. So, and last night I said that this pool was what? It was roughly around 45 million people. Okay, that's basically the 30% of 350 million people in the United States. It's actually 90 million, but we cut it down to 45 million because we can't have people that are under 18 as customers or as coaches. So we figure 45 million is probably a pretty safe number. That's a pretty good sized prospect or prospect pool. Now, when we start talking about this huge prospect pool of people that are ready to hear what we have to say, remember we're talking about the 70-30 rule. Okay, where 70% of the people that we talk to are not going to be interested in what we have to say, but 30% of the people are. This 45 million people are the 30%. We have to be able to find them. So how do I do that? How do I go about, and how can you go about starting to sort through that 70% so that you can get to the 30%? Well, it's a very simple process. The process basically is we have to come over to this group of prospects, which basically is about everybody that you come in contact with. That's how I look at it. Everybody that I see is a prospect. Plain and simple, end of story. everybody that I see, that I run into, that I talk to, everybody is a prospect that can be either a customer in my business or be in my business to fill one of those open positions. Okay? I'm in a constant interview mode. I am on automatic pilot when it comes to being able to interview people for open positions in my business. If I walk past somebody, okay, just as an example, if I walk past somebody in Walmart or at Applebee's or sit down for a restaurant or to get a meal, if I walk past someone and we acknowledge to each other that we're basically in the same environment, our eyes meet, we're basically acknowledge that we're pretty much in the same environment. If I smile and if they don't smile back, guess what? They just got the first black mark on my interview list as far as being in my business. You have to be able to smile. You have to be able to be happy and enjoy life. If somebody's going around frowning and down and down in the dumps and everything and just gloomy, I really don't want to have that person in my business. I want to be able to have people in my business that are happy, excited, and willing to be able to learn and to move through the process to be able to change their life. We're talking here about things that are going to change people's lives. Our products change people's lives. They've changed my life. And they've changed hundreds and thousands of other people so far in my business. So I'm happy about that. I'm excited about that. And every day that I'm in this business, I get more and more excited about how my business is growing and how this company is being able to help me to build my business. So everybody in this pool is a prospect. Everybody that I come in contact with is a prospect. Now, what I need to do, though, is when I make that contact, I have to be able to transition from having them out here in the prospect pool to getting on this list right here. I need to be able to add them to my list. Now, one of the things that I like to be able to do, and you've heard me say it over and over again, and you'll continue to hear me say it, you have to have your goals written out on paper in front of you. Okay? You have to have your goals written out. One of my goals every day is to add 3 to 4 people to my list. That's it. That's one of my main goals. It doesn't change. It can go up. If I wanted to be able to add 5, 6, or 7 people to my list, I can change that goal if I want to. I can change it to go down. Let's say, for instance, I want to go down to 2 people added to my list or 1 person added to my list every day. It could be 4 people added to your list in a week. Whatever that goal that you want to set for yourself to be able to add people to the inventory in your business, write it down. Write it down on a piece of paper so that you can see it, so that you make it real to yourself. When you write it down, your brain is recording that in your head that I am writing down a goal. So your fingers are recording up here the number 4, 3 to 4 a day added to the list. My eyes are recording what I see into my brain. I speak it out loud. I am adding 3 to 4 people to my list every day. Now I have put inside my head the physical writing in my head. I put what I see into my head, and I put what I hear into my head. It's there, so it's going to compound the fact and energize my body to make that happen. To make it happen that I'm adding 3 to 4 people to my list. It might be 3 to 4 people a week to your list. I don't care what the goal is. Just make the goal to be able to do it. Get your book, get your pen, and we start today to be able to make that list, to add people to it every day or every week. And when you start to accomplish that and you check that off, you do your little check mark, and you check that off, that was accomplished for the day, you feel good about that. You feel good that I've added 3 to 4 people to my list. Okay, I have another goal. My other goal is that I want to take people off my list. Okay, let's go back to our restaurant example. Let's say, for instance, we have some food that came into our restaurant. Some people didn't order as much of the cod, okay, that I ordered, and the date went out on it. Okay, I can't use it. I have to do what? I have to pitch it. I have to get it out of my inventory. I have to get it out of the store. I can't use it. Okay, same thing with this. When I come across someone, that has a disconnected number, or when I call them, they're in the 70%. They just aren't interested in hearing what I have to say. I put a big red X right through their name and their information, and I cross them off my list. I take them off my list. They're out of my inventory. I don't need to look at them anymore. And it doesn't hurt me to be able to take people off of my list. Why? Because I'm adding people to my list. That list is continuing to grow. If I add 100 people to my list this month, I'll easily add 100 people to my list this month. Even though I add 100 people to my list this month, I might take 20 or 30 of those people off of my list this month. I still have 70 people on my list. Out of those 70 people that I have on my list, I might actually get in contact with, say, 20 of them. And I might set up 5 or 6 appointments out of those 20. But I still have 50 people on my list. Even though I've contacted 20 of them, and I set up 5 or 6 appointments, I still have 50 people on my list that I still haven't gotten in touch with, that I just continue to work through. It doesn't, just because I put 100 people on my list this month doesn't mean that I have to get a hold of every one of those 100 people. I will eventually. As I go through and I finish my list, in fact, I got to the very last person on my list, okay, 936. I got to Kimberly Larson today in Rockford. I got to her today. She's the last person on my list, and I went all the way back to my very first book, to number 1, okay, and I came down and I started calling Steve Kemet in Cass Lake, Minnesota. I started with Steve, and I went through the X's until I found somebody that wasn't X'd out, and I called that person. Then I went to the next person that wasn't X'd out, and I called that person until I got my 15 dials in for the day. Because why? Because that was one of my goals. 15 dials. That's one of my goals for the day. And I write it down, and I look at it, and I know I have to accomplish it, because I know when I accomplish it, I'm going to have my 4th goal. I want to set anywhere from 3 to 5 appointments. Okay? And then when I get to my 4th goal, I'm going to have my 5th goal. Okay? I want to do 2 to 3 presentations today. Okay? And then I'll get to my weekly goal. I want to sign up at least 1 to 2 coaches this week. I want to add 1 to 2 people to my team this week. These are all my weekly goals. These are the goals that drive my business. These are the goals that has taken me from a diamond coach in September of last year to a 2-star diamond coach now, or 2-star diamond coach the 23rd of December, and pretty soon a 3 and a 4-star diamond coach. It's taken me from having 13 people, personally sponsored coaches in my team in September, to having over 100 personally sponsored coaches on my team today. This program works, and it works because I continually add people to this list. Out of the prospect pool that is out there, the 45 million people that is out there growing every day, because I see everybody as a prospect for my business. Everybody needs to be able to hear what I have to say. That doesn't mean that everybody that I talk to, remember 70-30 rule, that doesn't mean that everybody I talk to is going to want to listen to what I have to say. I was sharing with Melissa just a little earlier today that I had, or it wasn't Melissa, it was another coach, that I had an interview this afternoon. Okay, and I had an interview for an open position that I had. The interview was going fine. She met the characteristics that I was looking for. Got her into the live video interview here. I was about halfway through the introduction to Team Beachbody video, getting them in front of the third-party tool that I always get them in front of, and then all of a sudden, click, and they were gone. Out of the live video conference, gone, done, out. I actually had them on my phone because we couldn't get their mic working, so I was using my phone to be able to talk to the person, and disconnected, hung up on the phone, and then got out of the video conference. First time that's ever happened to me. With the video conference, it's not the first time that somebody's hung up on me, but it's the first time that somebody's actually got out of the video conference with me. And I was sharing with this other coach. I said it was like somebody just getting up out of my office and walking out. I was like going, how rude was that? But I don't care. You know what I did? I went to my list. I write down when I make an appointment. This is the other thing. This is my calendar. See, this is my calendar here. I have my appointments down because this thing has really helped me very much, the calendar. So I went to her number, which is the number that corresponds to her name on my list, and I just crossed her off. I just put NI. She's not interested. Walked out. Just a little comment. Walked out VC. But it didn't bother me. Normally it that probably would bother me or upset me or why would somebody do that, or I might feel rejected. I don't feel rejected because I know that she falls into the 70%. She just confirmed that she just wasn't interested in what I was showing to her. She wasn't interested in anything that had to do with Beachbody or getting healthy or helping other people get healthy. So everything that she was telling me undoubtedly wasn't correct because her actions spoke louder than what she was speaking. But it didn't matter to me. She's in the 70%. I just move on. I went on to the next person. I went on to the next interview, and I signed him up as a coach. It didn't bother me. I just continue to push through. I push through those obstacles. We're going to have obstacles all the time in this business. You're going to have obstacles in everything that you do in life. Whatever obstacle that might be. Personal obstacles, business obstacles, work obstacles, it doesn't matter. We use those obstacles as stepping stones to succeed in reaching our goals. And by being able to put people onto your list every day and seeing everybody that you come in contact with as a prospect, Now that doesn't mean that you go out and you just, bulldoze them over and everything. Be selective. Do the smile test. A lot of coaches, including myself, we wear logo gear. A P90X hat. I know Jerry has a P90X hat. We have P90X shirts. P90X is probably one of our most popular, most branded workout programs, and everybody knows what they are. TurboFire, Insanity. They have popularity too. They have branding also, but not like P90X. Get some logo gear. Wear that logo gear out when you're out and about. It opens up the doors to conversations with the prospect pool so that you can get people onto your list. The hot leads that we get by being in Success Club. This is another reason why you want to get into Success Club. It has made a huge impact in my business. It has made a huge impact in my weekly paycheck that my business writes to me every week. You want to be able to get into Success Club, but what we want to be able to do, we get those hot leads, and when we get those hot leads, we contact them. Okay? If you're an Emerald coach, you're getting customer leads from Beachbody. Those are customer leads. Those are prospects too. Just because they're your customer doesn't mean that you can't contact them about being in our business. The economy and life hits them just like it hits us. I have and trust me, my 700 customers that I have from Beachbody from the last 19 months with being in Beachbody, those 700 customers are not on this list. That's a completely different list, but you can just as easily go through and find those phone numbers of those customers and start calling them. If you're an Emerald coach and getting customer leads, you can start to call those customers and ask them how are things going. How are things going with your workout program? How are things going with your Shakeology? Start that conversation with them. It's the same thing as the list. If you don't get a hold of them, write them down on a list. Start a customer list. Prospect list, customer list. You don't have 2 or 3 different books. And just write those customers down in your notebook, and then just call them. Make a goal. I'm going to call 5 of my customers on my customer list today. If you get a hold of 1 out of the 5, great. Start the conversation with them. See how things are going with their workout program. How are things going with their goals? How can I help you? Can I help you to be able? Just as an example, I talked with a customer, and this is an example. I was talking with a customer talking about their workout program. They were doing P90X. I asked how the workout was going with them. They said, well, I did about the first month and a half, and then this happened, and I had to stop, and I just have never really picked it back up again. And I said, well, why don't we go ahead and get you started on doing your program again? He goes, well, I had the results and recovery formula, the protein bars, I had all these other things, and I just can't afford to be able to do that stuff anymore. Okay? Now, when you hear that kind of a comment coming from one of your customers, what's the first thing that you want to be able to offer them information on? If I were to show you, here's what I said to him, if I were to show you how we can get you started on P90X again, start working towards your goals again, but 2, if I can show you how you can actually get those protein bars, recovery formula, and your other supplements for free, would that help you out? What do you think his answer was to me? That would be great. How do I do that? Is the door open now for that customer to be able to look at the business opportunity, to be able to teach them how they can earn a little extra money to be able to pay for their recovery formula, protein bars, and other supplements that they were taking before they stopped doing P90X. It's a perfect open door. But that's making the appointment, making the contact with the prospects that you have on your list. Now, that's if you're getting customers from Beachbody, being an Emerald Coach or higher. If you're not, the same process works for anybody that you would come in contact with anyway. When you're wearing logo gear out while you're out and about, somebody might stop you and say, "Hey, I saw that on the infomercial a few nights ago, and I thought about buying it." Or they even bought it. Okay, great. You know, it opens up the door for the conversation. It opens up the door for you to be able to say, you know, are you getting anything else with the P90X workout? Did you get the results in the recovery formula? What else did you get with it? You know, and they're going to tell you what else they got with it. And then you can say, you know, I started out the same way, and I even went into the free program. What's the free program? People like the word free. What's the free program? Well, the free program is that Beachbody has a program where you can earn some money to be able to actually pay for all your supplements and workout programs that you buy. Would you be interested in learning some more information about that? Well, yeah, I would. Well, here, just write down your name, your email address, and your phone number, and I can email you some information and a video that you can watch that'll help to explain it to you, the free program to you, and then we can hook up together maybe Monday and see what you like best about it and see how you can get started. What's your day look like on Monday? And I always carry my big calendar with me, and I'll pull my calendar out and I'll give them some choices. You know, Monday, Tuesday, which day is better for you? Afternoon, evening, which day is better for you? I always give choices. Always give one or two choices to people, you know, because the one choice that you have available might not work for them, and then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. But that's what I mean by being able to take advantage of the opportunities by using the branding and using the name brand recognition that Beachbody has spent $200 million to create for us. No other network marketing company has the branding that we have other than one company that I know of, and that's Avon. Avon has branding like crazy. The name Avon has branding like crazy. Their products, some of them have fairly decent branding, but we have products that have brand recognition that people know. Okay, so these are just some things that you can start to churn over and start to mull through as far as adding people to your list. Okay, now I've always kept an open mind to be able to learn new types of ways to be able to contact people. I was on a call tonight, and I heard a great way to be able to increase people responding to us through, you know, if it's our own Beachbody customers, Shakeology customer lead program customers, if it's people that you're talking to or run into, or if you have business cards of people. Like, you know, I have some business cards here. I think this one's Kathleen's. Is that yours, Kathleen? I think that's yours. But I have business cards here. I have so many business cards that I pick up because I'm a hunter. Okay? And this technique just spoke volumes to me. I was going crazy when I heard this. The first thing that this coach does is that he texts the prospect first. He doesn't pick up the phone and call them. He sends a text text message to them, to their phone. Because he's right, because I do the same thing. If I get somebody calling me on my cell phone and I look at the number, and if I don't recognize the number, or if the person's name doesn't come up instead of the phone number, more than likely it's going to go to my voicemail. And if it's important enough for somebody to leave a message, they're going to leave a message for me. If it's not important, somebody's not going to leave a message. I didn't want to talk to them anyway. Okay, that's me personally. So, and he said the same thing. If I do it, they're probably going to do it too. So when they see my phone number come across on their phone and they don't recognize it, and they don't see a name that they recognize come up there, it's going to go to voicemail. Okay? Same thing's probably happening with our emails. You know, if they don't recognize the name on the email, it's probably going to go into their junk, or they're just not going to open it. They're just going to delete it off, because people are very susceptible to viruses and these other things. Okay, so sending a text message to them first before I call them, just a simple text message saying, "Hey, Jim, I have your business card, and I'd like to sit down and talk with you a little bit about my business and how my business can help your business. Would you be able to meet on Monday or Tuesday in the afternoon or evening? Which would be better for you?" And send that text. And from what he was saying, I haven't done this yet. I just learned about it. What he was saying, he was getting responses 2 out of every 3 that he sent. And his team was doing the same thing and getting the same responses. So people were responding more to the text than they were to the actual calls, which makes sense. I've seen that happen. And they were getting a better response, and they were setting up more appointments. And of course, I already know the more appointments I set up, the more presentations I'm going to make, and the more presentations I make, the more coaches I'm going to have on my team, or customers I'm going to have in my business. It's predictable at that point. Just like I was saying last night, it's predictable. So with doing that, first thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to be sending out some texts. Now, you know, my phone, where is my phone? My phone here has these little tiny buttons, and I have these great big Galuka fingers, okay? So I can't text all that fast on my phone. You know, I don't have the magic thumbs like I've seen these other people, or these phones that are like this with keyboards on them that people are going all over on. You know, so this is something new for me, but it's going to be something that I believe is going to be able to help me get a better response from people, because if I can get a response from people, I already know what the rest of my predictability is with my numbers. If I get somebody on the phone, I know I'm going to set up an appointment every 15 dials that I make. I'm going to set up 3 or 4 appointments. So when I get a hold of somebody actually on the phone, I set up about 85% of those people I set up an appointment for. Okay, so if I can get a text response back from 2 out of 3 people that I send a text to, my appointment rate is going to go up through the roof, which means my presentations are going to go up through the roof, which means I'm not going to be signing up 1 to 2 coaches a week. Now I might be signing up 3 to 4 coaches a week. And you could be doing the same thing by adding people to the list. You have to have the people on the list in order to send a text message to. You have to be an Emerald coach or higher and be in Success Club to get the hot leads to be able to send the text message to. You have to be able to have the people on your list, have the people to contact in order to start the process flowing. Just like I was sharing with you last night about the meat grinder. Remember the meat grinder? You put meat in, okay, those are the prospects that you're putting in and out comes the good meat, the ground meat out of the bottom. Those are the coaches and the customers that are coming into your business. Okay, so the more prospects that we have appointments for that we put into the meat grinder, we're going to get more coaches and customers coming out of the bottom. We stop putting those customers and appointments into the meat grinder. We stop having an inventory in our list. Our business is going to go done. Our business is going to stop. We aren't going to have inventory to cook food for our customers that are coming in. Okay, so it's important. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that out. I'm going to try the text thing because I think that's a great idea. That is an awesome idea, and I want to be able to do that. So I'm going to do that because I thoroughly believe, that belief was transferred to me very quickly. I thoroughly believe that that's going to increase my appointments, it's going to increase my presentations, and it's going to increase the number of people that I sign up in my business. So get ready, folks, because, man, game on now. It was game on before, but it's really game on now, because I think that's an awesome step that I never really thought about, that somebody else has been doing, that has had great success for themselves and their team, and we can have that same success. I can have that success. You can have that success. We can take the Dials program. We can take that pool of prospects. We can get them onto our list. We can make our goals for the day to add people to our list, to take people off our list, to make our dials, to set our appointments, to do our presentations, to send out those text messages. Man, it's really cool when other people call you back or text you back saying, yes, I would like to be able to talk with you. That is an awesome, awesome feeling. Okay, when somebody else gives you a call back and says, yes, I want to be able to talk with you. Yes, I want to be able to set up an appointment with you to be able to talk about an open position that you have in your business. It gives you great confidence, and it really builds you up to be able to do that. Okay, so any questions at all about what we've talked about so far tonight? Any questions at all? You know, I was rambling for about 45 minutes there, and it's probably hard to be able to take notes, but I want to be able to open it up for some questions real quick. And then tomorrow night we're going to be starting to talk about how we contact those people. Of course, we already started talking about the texting. So that's the way that we can start to be able to talk with people and to get them on our calendar for appointments. So tomorrow we're going to take people off of our list. We're going to start calling them. We're going to start going through that process through the scripts that I use, make those available to you, and we're going to start to take the people's names from our list and get them onto our calendar to be able to do an appointment with them, to be able to do a interview presentation with them, and then take you through that whole process. Okay, that's going to be starting that tomorrow, and then we'll probably go into a fourth part of the Dials program, which is actually the closing part of it, which is going to close up the loop. That might be next week, or I might put another special training together for that. Okay, Melissa, did you have any questions? I know this is right down your professional alley, so great. Jerry's going to start texting when we end the training. Let me know how that works. Keep track of what you do. Keep track of the number of texts that you send and how many people respond back. Keep track of that information. Just like I keep track of the information, the number of dials. Here, where's my sheet? This is my sheet. and I keep track. The slashes are the number of dials that I did for the day. You can see my goal. You can see my goal is 15 dials. I have 15 dials there. The open circles are the appointments that I set for that day. The red circles are the number of presentations that I have done so far. Okay, and I didn't put the coach in that I signed up yet. Usually I put a 1. Where's my pen? This is what I do when I sign up a coach. I put a 1 with a circle. That means that I have a new coach and I signed up a coach. So I had 4 presentations so far this week, and I have 1 coach. That's 25%. Okay, which is right where I'm at, 25%. Like I said, my numbers are predictable. I've been tracking them for the last 7 months. I know exactly what's going to happen if I make my dials. That's how come I set my goal. I do 75 dials a week, 15 dials a day, 5 days a week. You know, if I feel like doing dials on Saturday and Sunday, that's just extra. Okay? So, thank you very much for being on the training tonight. I appreciate you being on here. I hope you were able to take the information and put that together with the information from the last training from the introduction to the dials program. That training is already up in the training room on my website. So if you wanted to go and watch that training again, this one will be up also. And then the next 2 will probably be up also over the weekend. So the trainings are there. Go through the trainings. If you have questions, drop me an email, get a hold of me, make an appointment with me, and I can walk you through different things, and we can do things that way. So hope everybody has a great evening tonight. Get some rest, and we're going to make this thing work. We're going to get people to Success Club and get people moving in their business and get that business growing just like mine got growing 7 months ago. All right? So have a great evening. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you all.